Now, before heading towards the regulation of the parathyroid hormone, let me explain you something about the normal homeostasis mechanism of the calcium ions. When the calcium levels in our blood are high, this will basically trigger the thyroid gland to release calcitonin, so that the increased calcium will get deposited into the blood and the levels will get normal again, or the homeostasis will be maintained. On the opposite end, when the calcium levels are low in the blood, now this was the main focus of our lecture. So if you recall, what will happen? Yes, it will cause the parathyroid gland to release the parathyroid hormone, which will then act on our bones, our gastrointestinal tract, and our kidneys. All of these will result in the release of calcium back into our blood so that again the normal calcium levels can be achieved. Now we talked about the effects of the parathyroid hormone. Now you must be wondering, what are the factors that are regulating this release? Well, it's fascinating to know that the calcium and phosphate levels in the blood themselves are factoring into the regulation of this hormone in a negative feedback loop. Meaning that when calcium levels are high, the parathyroid hormone levels will decrease, and when phosphate levels are high, the parathyroid hormone will also increase. Now let's have a closer look into this negative feedback loop. Now, as a result of the parathyroid hormone, the normal calcium concentration in the blood will be achieved. Now, these normal calcium levels will deactivate these calcium sensing receptors, and the release of parathyroid hormone will be inhibited because all of this pathway will not be occurring. At the same time, the normal calcium levels in the blood will also result in the normal calcium levels in the intracellular matrix, which will stop these vesicles from fusing into the membrane, and hence no secretion will occur. So I told you earlier that the half-life of PTH is 10 minutes. So after this hormone has done its magic, 60-70% of this will be engulfed by the Kupffer cells of the liver, and almost 20-30% of this hormone will be secreted out of the kidneys. Now you must remember that any disruptions in the release of this hormone will lead to a few disease conditions. Now, the abnormal increase of this release of parathyroid hormone will lead to hyperparathyroidism, and the decrease will lead to hypoparathyroidism. We have dedicated lectures to each of these topics, so look in the description down below to learn more. Now, this brings us to the end of the story of the parathyroid hormone. You can see how intricately all the hormones in our body work together to make sure that everything is working properly. Just as how our parathyroid hormone is working to maintain the normal levels of calcium levels in our body. Now, if you like this lecture, do not forget to comment down below. And if you wish to see more lectures like this, head over to a library of over 1,500 lectures. You will surely find what you're looking for. So stay tuned on sqadia.com.